India's top court has ruled the practice of instant divorce in Islam unconstitutional, marking a major victory for women's rights activists. In a 3-2 majority verdict, the court called the practice un-Islamic. India is one of a handful of countries where a Muslim man can divorce his wife in minutes by saying the word talaq, divorce, 3 times. The landmark court decision came in response to petitions challenging the so-called triple talaq custom. The cases were filed by 5 Muslim women who had been divorced in this way and 2 rights groups. Women's rights campaigners have hailed the court's decision as a historic win. There have been cases in which Muslim men in India have divorced their wives by issuing the so-called triple talaq by letter, telephone and, increasingly, by text message, WhatsApp and Skype. A number of these cases made their way to the courts as women contested the custom. Triple talaq divorce has no mention in Sharia Islamic law or the Quran, even though the practice has existed for decades. Islamic scholars say the Quran clearly spells out how to issue a divorce. It has to be spread over 3 months, allowing a couple time for reflection and reconciliation. Most Islamic countries, including Pakistan and Bangladesh, have banned triple talaq, but the custom has continued in India, which does not have a uniform set of laws on marriage and divorce that apply to every citizen. 3 of the 5 Supreme Court judges called the controversial practice un-Islamic, arbitrary and unconstitutional. One of the judges, Justice Kurian Joseph, said the practice was not an essential part of Islam and enjoyed no protection. The judges also said it was manifestly arbitrary to allow a man to break down a marriage whimsically and capriciously. Chief Justice J.S. Kha, in a differing opinion, said that personal law could not be touched by a constitutional court of law. The opposing judgments also recommended that Parliament legislate on the issue. However, this is not binding and is up to Parliament to take up. The Indian government, led by the Hindu nationalist Bharatiya Janata Party, BJP, has supported ending the practice. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has brought up the issue several times, including in his Independence Day address on the 15th of August. The judgment is a huge victory for Muslim women. For decades, they have had to live with the threat of instant divorce dangling over their heads like a sword. Campaigners say over the years thousands of women, especially those from poor families, have been discarded by their husbands in this manner. Many have been rendered destitute, with nowhere to go, or have been forced to return to their parental homes or fend for themselves. The top court has also sent a very strong message to Muslim clergy. India's Muslim Personal Law Board had called the practice reprehensible but said that it was not an issue for the courts and government to interfere in. With this latest ruling, this will no longer be the case. The judgment is being widely hailed as a major win for Muslim women and women's rights. The Prime Minister praised the historic ruling. Shaya Bano, one of the main petitioners, said she appealed to people to accept the ruling and not politicize the issue. I have felt the pain when family breaks. I hope no one has to go through this situation in future, she told reporters. Hasina Khan, founder of the Bebak Collective which fought against triple talaq, called the verdict historic. We are extremely happy. Muslim women have struggled for years, she told the BBC. Zakia Soman, an activist from Bharatiya Muslim Mahila Andolan, another of the groups which contested the practice, said Indian women of many religions had supported them. It's a historic day for us. But it doesn't end here, she said. The All India Muslim Personal Law Board, AIMPLB, which had maintained that the court had no jurisdiction over the matter, has yet to make an official statement on the ruling, but has convened a meeting to decide what its response should be, a report in Indian newspaper The Hindu said. However, it quoted an executive member as saying that the judgment would have wide ramifications as it affected the religious rights of minority groups, but the All India Muslim Women Personal Law Board, IB, which had opposed the stand of the AIMPLB, said the judgment could not have been better. It will change the entire landscape of Muslim families. It's now in the mainstream and will protect not only women, but children. Families will be more stable because children will also be protected, Chandra Rajan, an advocate for the group, told the BBC on social media the hashtags #triple talaq and #Supreme Court began trending on Twitter India even as the verdict was being announced. The hashtag #triple talaq is also trending globally on Twitter.